Well, wait a minute,
Yes, sir.
I'll drive past them. Make somebody different.
Hey, Dave's a writer, not a prayer.
Right. Thank you.
Fred, would you do our prayer pledge?
Okay, let's do the pledge first. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for coming today. And thank you for all the students and people who are present and not present, also all the other members. We hope you have a pleasant day today. In your name we pray.
Amen.
For future housekeeping, will all the stewards stand and be identified? Right in the back.
Paul Willis, Medical Center.
Tony Brown. Samuel Lincoln, Kennedy Collins. Fred Wood. Alfred.
Dwayne Jones. Here from Medical Center. Marvin Newman Medical Center. Tom Hines, Newark.
Glenn Corner game, student life.
Dwayne Jones,
This may be something of an abridged meeting. We have a couple of other, events today. There is one, we are to do a walking on with the AFL-CIO. We have officers coming down from the local for that, from the district for that. And there's also a get out the vote event at the King Center that's going to feature the Congressional Black Caucus and Sheriff Brown. That event is also going to take people to the polls. So if you have any relatives that need to vote, I will give you 5 minutes to call. The minutes are, I was not here last month, so I'm not sure where the minutes are for the October meeting. I will try and track those down. Okay. We do have the financial report for July and August for you. Are there any questions, comments, concerns, issues? I need a motion from the floor to accept Treasurer's Report, Miracle Long. Second is Tony Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Until President Murráy gets here, are there any issues that I need to bring to him, or we need to make him aware of, other than the other? We did know in the e-board meeting that the contracts should be available the end of this month. It should be back from President. There were some other things that need to be added that we need to add to the contract. There were a few drafts that were available that the board did get, but that's just a draft. It is not the final copy. The contract should be out by the end of the month.
For clarity, Mayor, when you say add things to the contract, you mean the things like Seth Rosen's death, that kind of thing?
Yeah, those things that would not be normally...
Nothing beyond negotiations.
No,
I mean,
nothing
all.
that's not negotiated.
Doesn't want anyone walking away with the wrong idea.
Right, there are a couple of inserts that we need to put in that would not have, that were not negotiable.
I'm contacting.
The Seth Rosen's, whatever.
Passing, and then a couple of other,
Yeah.
tributes.
John Gibson brought 100 copies of the current contract over to the storage area, and the HR rep gave me a copy, and there was a thing at the end about Dave Reno and Seth Rosen
Right.
in there. So they might be out, but
They weren't, they have not notified Rich, and the last notice, I don't know who Mr. Gibson is, and I don't want to, you know.
He's with HR.
Whoever he is. Those contracts that come to the membership by, just by, I want something other than respect. They have to come through this office first, and not do an in-run around the officers and the representatives of this union. So since we do not have them,
I see.
you know, and we were notified that they will be available the end of November. I'm not really sure what.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
It's interesting, they may have gotten theirs first.
Hopefully they have Richard's permission to be passing those
I
out.
don't think he did, no, because from what we were told.
Just 2
in
days
the
ago, right?
board meeting that the contract would not be available until the end of November, because we had certain inserts that we had to put in, so I really don't believe that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Will they be posted on the HR site, like the old contract also?
Probably. I want to say that since we are into the 21st century, that would be something, but it would not include the inserts that are coming from the district that were relative to Seth Rosen's staffing and those other
Tributes to other
tributes
people.
that the union is going to make. Yes, sir.
On a whole nother subject, May, I want to mention to everyone, for some reason, the envelopes we use for OSU mail have dried up. We can't find them anywhere. We were even told by stores they wouldn't sell them to us. I'm putting out some newsletters on the back of the table. I'm trying to get those up as quick as I can. If you guys could take newsletters back with you, I'd really appreciate it. Until the stores thing straightens out. Thank you.
I have a question. How are we doing with our electronic communications of the publications that we are putting out, because we are setting down?
Everything is on the web, whether or not people are reading it. You know, we have sort of backed off how many we send out as far as hard copy papers go, but I don't know how it's being received on the other end. So.
For the stewards, that is something that we hope you can give us a hand with, is steering our members to our Facebook page, to YouTube, where our members are leading our videos, and to our website.
Amen.
We also are really still working on our obituary section of the website, so if you know people within your section that have experienced death, we do want to get it posted onto the website. Yes, sir.
How do you contact that person if they have a death in their family, or
How do we contact them, or how do you contact them?
how would you contact them?
You know, that's the reason we kind of leave it to the stewards in that area, that when you know, ask them how they, you know, how they're feeling about that, if it's okay with them, that we put it in. We're just going to mention the member's name and the family member who passed. The Secretary of State, the first week in November, we had 2 weeks in the week. Like that Sunday, we had 3 people that had parents or grandparents that died that same day.
Wow.
Yes, our president has arrived.
Obama, why you late?
You have to go to New York, right?
Obama. Where do you go, Obama?
We have, we just put the questions, we have done federal, we've done lieutenant, we don't have prayer, not sure prayer, plus prayer, it's on the block. Yes, we've done 9 and 10. with that. On the callback, it's going to be every day.
You guys have information on the political volunteering this morning, both 9 and 10. 9 is President Richard Murráy, AFL-CIO, and our district vice president. That's happening pretty soon. We got short notice of it, so we have short notice. I have not received, we may get some tickets for Obama and
Joe Biden is in Sunday down in, Lancaster, I guess,
and Monday is Jay-Z, Obama, and Bruce Springsteen at Nationwide. So I haven't got any tickets yet. Normally, if I get them, they'll call me tomorrow night and tell me pick up some tickets. So I'll try to get that out as quickly as I can, if I get it out. If we get them, sometimes we don't get them sometimes. Last month or so, we haven't had a bevy of activity. Most of it's been grievance. We are still trying to wrap up the members on the contract. That agreement hasn't been wrapped up yet. We have a tentative agreement. For 3 decades, we haven't done wages in that agreement. And so we decided that we would try to get wages in that agreement now, to add to the value of having that agreement for members who are in that agreement, which includes myself. And so we weren't able to get the wage issue resolved. We were, however, able to approach some other issues like sick leave conversion, which would be very helpful to those people. The kind of no punishment attendance policy, the free schedule, that we think would be helpful for those people in that contract. And I think Article 18, which is the insurance, would be in there. As you know, everyone else on campus is on some kind of merit pay, some kind of. As it is, we weren't able to get our particular formula for those members only, which would have been really grand. So they'll still kind of plod along with theirs, which has no particular system, no guarantee, no rights, no nothing in it. And so that looks like what that agreement will look like. The contracts are done. We'll be able to disseminate them in about 3 weeks from now. We still have some labeling to do in the additional information that we want to have ready for you to be writing in hand, phone numbers, support numbers, steward roster. There's a labeling that we have prepared to put right in the contract. It doesn't eradicate that you're supposed to have a steward roster in your area, but I think it would be helpful to in the book in the hand. Environmental hazards, department, AEP, EAP, just a lot of different numbers like that they have here. I think it was radiation control number, safety and health. As many numbers as we could think of that we thought would be helpful to have at hand, we have it at hand. We are still attempting to do a wage reopener for the Franklin County Veterans Service Office. Hopefully that'll be done before the spring. We'll be looking at some kind of retro pay if that occurs. And we are planning almost some kind of children's holiday party with local 4502 and local 4310. I don't have the details of that. We still have a meeting for it. We have to get a campaign going that talks about what do I need to do to get a meet on this merit system, and what do I need to do to get above me? Everybody that's done some sort of, for this year upcoming. So this year upcoming is the time that you set up your schedule, get your goals, everybody that gets an evaluation or is part of the evaluation system should be doing that. It is sad for me to say that I think we only had about 37 MERPs. So only about 37 of all of them have thus far challenged what our MERPs were for last year. So we have to do better than that. If you're dissatisfied, you've got to do better than that because it's the only venue in which you get to do that. Sometimes we suspect that maybe people are waiting for this year because it gives you a lot more rights and a lot more process to be able to do that. But if you're going to do it this year, you have to start out with whatever they call your goal setting session. And then you have to make sure that you understand what the goals are, that you agree that the goals are attainable. And if you don't agree to those things, you don't understand, then they have the POC, which comes into in real time to resolve those issues. So it's proactive instead of reactive, and we hope that that'll give you more strength in order to kind of almost negotiate those things and make the things that are unfair. But that's going to go on, so we're going to do something. My suggestion to the communication team is something like pins or buttons or something. We have to make sure that everyone understands it because I believe that at the end of this fiscal year, we should have 200, 300 appeals, maybe more. But that's the way that you change the system through your activism in the process. I cannot talk them out of it. I have to show them. So I say to them, the evaluation system is not working. They ask me how many MERPs do you have. I say evaluations aren't given right. They ask me how many people read them. So you take a number like 2,000 and you say we have 34. Then they talk to me about percentile. Now, honestly, if we just had one, we still have a problem, depending on what that one was. But 34 is not a showing of I'm not satisfied as a group. So I have to have what someone calls empirical data when we have a conversation about its effectiveness, fairness, and all that kind of thing, because everybody else is on that system, has been on that system since whatever, 1840. And here stands us saying it's not fair, it's not right, it's inefficient. Have to have empirical data. Empirical data is if you are not satisfied with what your evaluation is, it should be increased. If you're not satisfied with what the monies are that are connected with it, should be a MERP. And with these grievances, the MERP should have some information which says it's incorrect, it's unfair, or it's just deficient as a grading system. Now, Nick Harris was just awarded an affirmative answer on the grievance that talked about the efficiency and how his particular department had been doing. Those things help, and to get an affirmation helps, and for Nick to have taken time to do it carefully helps. And you know, Nick will be doing that same sort of grievance, using that answer to that grievance to advocate for everybody else that gets sort of treated that way. Nick will be watching for that, because Nick wants people quiet now. He'll be watching for that to make sure he tells everybody in his work area in space that, you know, the grievance is confirmed, and this is the right way it's supposed to be done. If it's not done that way, he needs to agree. In the hospital, we have a contract administration. I'm still working through that. Hospital has decided to contract a company to administrate the cleaning of the facility. I think that most of you know that in this year, starts the new qualifications for hospitals to get paid from the Medicare, Medicaid program. And those variables for which they get paid will be based on customer patient satisfaction, patient length of stay, the infection rate in the hospital, patient satisfaction, the infection rate in the hospital, and the cost of treatment. Now, there aren't that many things that we can control in that. Truth be told, we can't really control the cleaning of it to the extent that it's supposed to be done, because we get our assignments and the workers do their assignments. And so we are kind of being pressured to work in a different way from different companies. The more complicated is that, they have a contract, I think it's $9 million. Only 35,000 or so of that $9 million is a payoff for the company for staff satisfaction. Their behavior thus far cannot mean that they want to get that $35,000. Of course, $9 million versus $35,000 is nothing.
Right.
And our suggestion was that they don't really care about the $35,000 because they have been acting in a way, or their agents have been acting in a way that can only be described as asinine. Their agents, not all of them, but a good percentage, have been acidic to companies. So I suppose that they just want to throw the 35 away and keep the acid instead of anesthetic. Anyway, the hospital will lose funding if they don't get that together. So their real intent was to get those numbers and those scores high. Infection rate lower, satisfaction rate high. The thing about environmental services and also the maintenance is that you guys are really emissaries of the hospital. And that you really contribute to patient satisfaction to some degree, to maybe a great degree. That's about all you can control. What occurs in the hospital, in student life, and somewhat in FOD is that you guys are customer service agents. Whether you like it or not, the truth is you're customer service agents, whether you're a plumber or a construction worker. And what happens is that in the hospital, you are trying to be cordial, helpful to people who are sick and family members who are forlorn. You don't always get a good deal out of that. You can't always get a good deal out of that from somebody who's already educated, maybe in their weakest, most vulnerable state of their whole life. Takes what I would call not a shining to. We have to have sort of a system that takes that into account before they start talking about suspending us and firing us. As a matter of fact, all people who have that sort of customer interaction, you're vulnerable. In student life, you're vulnerable to students. The students are somewhat similar to gods in that operation. The student's parents, and on and on. So you have to be sort of careful in that situation as well. FOD, you have the residents of the building, office workers, who have good days and bad days, who smile at you Monday and give you scorn Tuesday. You are sort of a customer service agent. And you put that in with the merit thing, and it's almost a recipe for certain disasters, for certain people, on certain days. It's just all set up for sort of a social explosion. So you have to be sort of careful about that. What we will be doing continuously is pushing to say you're customer service agent. By default, you represent your department or university, and if somebody doesn't like it, you can't be sort of sacrificed for some lazy leadership. You're still doing the work. You're still pushing the thing. You still are kind of like the first ambassador of the department of operations. So we're really pushing toward that. which comes around, comes around to talk about again this whole merit thing. I think that we want to push it to make them do that job that they're going to do. And it may be a little, I think in the last meeting I told you, and I stand by that they have made that whole merit situation part of your job. Part of your job to get sort of good feedback from the people whom you serve. Part of your job to make sure that your rights are kind of protected as they are given in the contract. You have to do that as an individual to make a mass change. We should utilize it, overutilize it, until it just breaks down. And they just don't want to do it anymore. If that's the will of you guys. If you guys will to do that. Some people won't want to do it. Some people believe that this is a better way. They are the minority of the group, but they are there. So I'm looking for the majority of the group to exercise those things. That's the only way we'll ever diminish the real realm. We're looking for, well, not looking for, we're trying to make a decision on the office, Secretary of State branch. Need to get new office. As soon as we decide which way to go on that, we'll bring it back to you and report it, tell you what happened to them as far as that. That's President. I need motion to accept the given to that such a motion. Then Tony Brown is back to that. All in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Questions and answers, please call.
There's a two-way street. Human resource officers, they get performance evaluation. Everybody else, so when you start individual groups or whatsoever, start writing letters of dissatisfied, about whatever towards a human resource officer or whoever else is in the group, that also adds to their performance evaluation. So I'm saying that, the performance evaluation is only as strong as human resource, the directors, how much they like it, how much they support it. So if they're under the gun to run after us, then our direction should be run after them. And that's how, in the past, that's how I approached it. And I did make baby steps with it, but the big
I think the reality is that even in those areas where we have 360 degrees evaluation, I don't believe that they take that as seriously as they should. I don't think the reality is. I think really the way to bash them is that is to make sure, sort of make them follow the contract. Their superiors have been unwilling to do that. And so you have to do it sort of as your right. The contract is everybody's right. If they haven't followed it, then you assert your right to dispute step by step. I think that in this contract, new agreement, it's a leap forward to have something adjudicated when it happens versus a year's looking back. And I think all activities which makes that happen is part of your job description. It should happen, all activities, which would include some complaining agreements and particular supervisor protective issues. Question? Yes.
I was wondering for the appeal that was MERP, evaluation. I stated this a couple months ago at the meeting, but maybe make some publications that can be posted in the workplace that so people actually know that they can do this. So I think that the reason why there's so low numbers is because workers really don't know that this is available for them to do. And I think educate them on that, there'd be a lot higher numbers and process can be done.
I agree with you. That's why a little earlier I talked about a campaign, sort of. This is exactly what I'm just saying a campaign. And that's why I'm talking about, like, buttons. And the flyers are posted would be good as well. And we keep talking about it like every week, but we're going to try to bring that thing out of the woods and make sure that it's known. Good idea. Yes, Tom.
Yeah, in Newark, they haven't started, we haven't received any, the quarterly evaluations. And I don't think they, from my experience, I doubt if they do, if I don't put pressure on them, or should I do that? I mean, should I go and say,
Absolutely. I think that your HR should be administering those now.
right,
They should have been doing it. If they haven't done it, there should be pressure to bear to do that. If it doesn't happen, call me. I think I'm on the committee or something like that. Call me, and then I'll make sure that the committee is aware, and then we'll come to fix it. Question? Yes, David Lesher.
Would it be, Dave Lesher from the stores area, would it be too much to have area stewards go around and check with each member as to whether they've received quarterly evaluations and goals they understand and a water file, a MERP chart? Would that be too much? Or
You said every member?
Every member in their jurisdiction.
In their jurisdiction?
Yeah.
To some degree. I mean, I think that it should be checked, sort of almost random. But, we print the contract for a reason. And the reason is to provide information of your rights and what's supposed to go on. I take Miracle and Mr. Newman there. They're doing about 600, 700 people in 4 or 5 different locations. So I think it should be sort of what kind of happened. And back to your idea again, that's why I think we have to do a full campaign on it to keep it present in everybody's mind as a reminder. And I think that it's not too much, but we won't get 100% efficacy. This is kind of happen, but I think that's another thing that kind of goes, it's part of that idea of bringing it out of the woods and making it more present. Answer is no, it's not too much per se. Conditionally, no. I see you. Are you done? You got a follow-up?
I have a little bit of a follow-up.
Go ahead.
The reason I say that in the stores area, there's quite a bit of effort to intimidate supervisors who give exceeds ratings and to make an impression that's anti-merit and anti the initiatives that the union has in the contract among management. For some of our individual members, that's intimidating, and they think, what's the use of using the process? In stores area, we've had, for example, daily parades of the extra management coming around that are very intimidating for employees. Individual supervisors get pressured if they get exceeds ratings, and the going forward impression on them is that all their ratings are going to be reduced to meets and that. So whatever pressure our members might bring to bear, get their supervisors in gear and indicate they want the exceeds rating and they want to know how to perform and get their full merit increase. There's a counter effort on the part of many supervisors and impression made on our membership, but that's not the way to go. So it's very ironic for management to appear later and say, where are all the grievances? Where are all the appeals? The management busies themselves trying to put a chill on the very basic things the union tries to get going.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the very basic things, because if, in this agreement, when you have your goal setting session, they have to tell you what it takes you personally to get a meet at the end of the year, and what it takes you personally to get above a meet, exceed whatever the top rank is. You ask them, you ask them. You probably got to do that, and they have to tell you. And so it's new, so it's hard to kind of get it in your mindset, really. So what happens is you agree, that's what I have to do. You agree in writing, even. You agree that it is attainable. You agree that you understand what it takes to get there. After that, it wouldn't matter how much intimidation it goes through to downplay it, because you've been told. You have sort of a subcontract. So, I guess their intent really would be to just, we don't give down, we're not going to do it. You know what I mean? Because you have sort of that policy that says that's what's supposed to be done. So I believe that is one aid to that intimidation all through the year thing. All you know is you virtually have a checklist, and then you've been given that checklist. We wanted to get really a patented checklist. This. It wouldn't allow that. You got to give a supervisor some discretion. So we let them make the checklist. But then on the other end, you have to agree to it and understand it. So I think that's helpful with that. Nick, I'm sorry.
I'm Nick Harrison, FOD. I received an email from OHR about nepotism, and in that email, it said that there was a section in there about reporting a second job to OSU.
Conflict of interest.
Right. What's that all about?
Well, what it's supposed to be about is that if you have control, let's say you're I'm trying to think of a title that everybody has in all of this. What's the title? If you're a director or a manager, you can't have a business or work with a company that competes directly or makes money from an operation at the university. That's what it's supposed to be about. And so, like, you can't work part-time, Nick, for HVAC, but you simply can't. Your assignment can't be canceled. That reporting to them is a little interesting, and I really have to look into that more. There's a conflict of interest clause that happens, but I believe that the proper interpretation is not you guys. The proper interpretation is people who own businesses, who would get some sort of private interest in working with the university. Nick?
We're having these little morning once a week meetings, and the managers are telling these guys, because a lot of the workers, skilled trades, we all run little side businesses, and they're telling those guys that they have to report all their work to OHR by December 7th, or they can be
I didn't know that.
reprimanded for not reporting.
Well, I'll look into that. Remind me of that.
Okay.
You don't have to report it. Well, it says you have to report it, but I don't believe that is for you or at that level. I still believe that it's having profit in skilled trades and custodial services. Those are the two kind of biggest ones. Going to the hospital, they have temporary services that, nursing, paraprofessionals. It goes all across all of our classifications. And it's important that we get an understanding of it that is germane to what's going on. Because otherwise, they say you have to report, you have to report whatever little part-time job you have. And I don't believe that that's legal. I don't believe that's legal. But you and I get together, we'll look at that more closely. Somebody, Cliff?
Yeah, and I don't know if I can, let me see if I can get this right. I heard basically, this OSU 1, right?
Yes.
I'm hearing the person that's training that has a contract with the university. Now, isn't that's illegal, isn't it?
Is the person working for the university and has a contract with the university?
Yeah. I don't know all the full details, but
I don't either.
this is what I'm hearing.
I hear it. I'll check into that too. His name is, we call him Superman, though. You talking about him?
Oh, no, not Clark Kent.
Not Clark?
No, he was funny though, don't be rich.
Yeah, he's it.
But I'm saying, this person from out, he's from out of Texas or somewhere. But he's supposed to be one.
It's possible that he works as a contractor for the university. You know, it's possible. And almost, it would be almost, well, we can figure it out. We can figure that out. But it's not, if he's from Texas,
And
he's
then
probably working on the contract.
like you said, now we have the weekly meeting
Mm-hmm.
on Wednesday at 7:05. Everybody else there.
I heard it.
Be there, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know why,
Didn't know about the meetings, but I know now. Any, Lee?
So, since this work started up, and the ones that you did win, did those individuals get back money?
No,
None of them?
no. They got forward money.
What's the difference?
The difference is, backup money is paying backwards for what's been done. Forward money is the money that goes into your wallet from this time on.
So how does that work out on budget? So does that come out on our next budget or during that previous budget of money?
I don't know. I don't care. You know what I mean? What I care about is that you get the money in your pocket and that you had an adjustment made.
So they got an adjustment made, and then on the forward, they won money back on the forward money. So if they had 2% coming up on their MERP on the future, and then they could get another 2% on top of that.
It changes almost immediately. The idea is to get it before it actually is allocated. You know, you got a number, and if you can get it done before it's allocated, then just change that number, and then going forward, that's what you get, instead of what you're looking at.
So the allocated number would be the letter that you got in your home address, and then you would file a MERP, and then if it was 1%, you won your case, and then that would be 2%.
Right, yeah. You might get a new letter, I think, and then you do speak to paycheck. Then,
I just wanted you to know that on November the 5th to the 19th, I will be missing, I'll be on vacation from work, so there will be no union representation. I'll be still there in the South area under my area.
still Kevin?
No, I've been trying to reach Kevin and he hasn't returned any
Yeah,
calls.
I'm turning your call. I hope you don't know it's your number. I hope that, but
I left,
she'll know that.
yeah, I left, well, I didn't tell him about the vacation. I was trying to consider something else, but,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but, no, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, he'll know.
Friday, 19th? Yeah, I'll be back on the 19th.
Any more, any
The 19th.
questions, answers? If I hear none, great.
Okay, just one question. Fred was, OSU Medical Center. I noticed that this sheet right here says volunteer for the upcoming election. And I'd like to know, if I volunteer for another place, do we get credit for that? Do you get credit for it? Or?
If you give them our local,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, when you fill out your volunteer sheet or whatever, and there's a thing that says union and organization on here, give them our local, 4501 and CWA.
Oh, okay.
Then they'll be credit for it.
Okay.
If there are no more questions, I need a motion to have the drawing and conclude. You got another question?
No.
No, I'm making a motion.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I need a motion. I just have closing. Then quarter.
I'll make the motion that adjourn and we passed on.
Do I have a second? Dwayne? All in favor, said motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. You should all have 2 tickets. 2 tickets.
No, we just have one.
You said no Stewart.
You should all accept Stewart have 2 tickets. And all, thank you very much.
Well, if you win the turkey, I would appreciate turkey sandwich.
$450. The number is 612-0041.
I didn't think about it, it came up with it.
We have a popular winner in the line.
$450. 612-0035. 0035. Mr. Newman? Mr. Newman? Might as well stay there. $475. 612-0038.
Y'all gotta shake that up.
Yeah, you should have put their hand on his life for a win.
And you're a chicken bastard like turkey.
Can't win on turkey, but I want turkey sandwich, where we get it.
Turkey. 612-0052. Okay.
Did 052 leave?
0052. All right. 0054.
Right there?
Okay.
Look, he's the last one to come through the door.
William Taylor.
Concluded?